All right, you cops aren't getting the training that you're supposed to be getting, right? And we hear that all the time. It's, oh, police aren't getting the training, so let me give you a little bit of an insight to some training. Curb your ego, because some of you deserve the death penalty, and I'll explain why. I'm going to be that extreme because we're approaching 2025, and you still don't understand what your job and responsibility is. So I believe there needs to be extreme consequences for blatant actions, knowing actions from the police, because we hold the same of our public, right? So we need to hold you to the same exact standard. I'm going to play this video first. We'll discuss and we'll lead into the real issue of law enforcement egos and who can articulate or lie the best on camera and how that affects the citizens that they're supposed to serve.
6 is the time right now. Virginia State Troopers out of a job this morning after video of a violent confrontation with the driver went viral. Fox 5's Bob Barnard is live in Tyson's Corner this morning with the details. Bob, good morning.
Hey, Wisdom, good morning to you. Yes, this is a case where the resulting confrontation didn't match the initial offense.
You're going to get your whooped in front of Lord and all creation.
This cell phone video was recorded by driver Derek Thompson 2 years ago after he was stopped by Virginia State Police troopers along the Beltway here in Fairfax County for having an expired inspection sticker. That's Charles Hewitt at Thompson's window. 2 other troopers are standing by as the 29-year-old from Woodbridge calmly speaks with the police, wondering why he's being treated this way.
Stand by and say absolutely nothing.
It's obvious Trooper Hewitt knows he's being recorded and has no problem with that.
I've been threatened. Watch the show. My life is in danger.
Eventually, Trooper Hewitt unbuckles Thompson's seatbelt and pulls him out of the car. Thompson would plead guilty to a misdemeanor obstruction of justice charge. He filed a federal lawsuit against Virginia State Police. The state settled for $20,000 while admitting no wrongdoing, and Trooper Hewitt was fired in February. His attorney telling the Washington Post Thompson is happy Trooper Hewitt is no longer on the street.
Fired in February. Let's talk about this for a second. Every single police situation is under threat of violence. Everything. You have to look at it this way. It doesn't matter if if you specifically look at traffic, right? Your law, your vehicle laws, you have a moving violation and equipment violation. In this circumstance, it seems like it's an equipment violation, doesn't get a environmental approved sticker. What, I don't know if that's in that state. It's like the emissions test, all that stuff, whatever it is. And they leverage that for whatever the state wants, right? Hey, you didn't pass your emissions test, so you're going to be contributing to global warming with your vehicle for the smog coming out of the back. Whatever. It's a bunch of garbage, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But it can lead all the way up to this man's death. It can. Think about this for a second. This is the responsibility of you as a cop. Curb your hatred for me if you're watching this video and fucking pay attention. You can pull somebody over for the stupidest bullshit in the world. So number one, we don't need to defund the police. We need to defund the fucking government. The government who allows police to be their henchmen and just completely financially rape the citizens of this country. A fucking vehicle sticker you pull them over for, and it escalates to this, to him being ripped out of the car, getting a $20,000 paycheck, and you get fired? No. Fourth Amendment, the ability to detain someone. I don't care what you need to access in your mind to think about that. Think about being put in a fucking coffin. And if you're claustrophobic, an elevator, you're in a pig pile and you're at the bottom with, 10 of your buddies all piled on top of you and you can't fucking move. You're a younger sibling, and your older sibling is doing the whole sitting on top of you, taking your hand, stop hitting yourself. The detainment. You cannot physically go anywhere. And I'm painting an extreme picture because some of you cops will never know what it's like to be fucking in handcuffs and you cannot move. You can't go anywhere. You're not free to leave. And the psychological damage it does to people of their freedoms being taken away for a fucking sticker. For a fucking sticker. This cop needs to be arrested and criminally charged. This cop had the lawful authority under threat of violence. Well, Izzo, what do you mean? If this driver sat there and we saw the violence. There's no if. The driver was completely complying. Maybe he wasn't exiting the vehicle, but for what, right? Oh, officer safety, Pennsylvania versus Mims, or sir, hey, listen, car can't be driven on the street. you have to start picking and choosing your battles. And this is where the gray area comes in, because half the public will go, well, this shitbag, because he's black and because he looks a certain way, well, you just should have complied. And then the other public is going to be like, dude, he didn't do nothing. Well, yeah, he drove a vehicle on a state street that it's in violation. Do you not start to see that these laws are the fucking problems? Your government is the problems, and they're pitting their henchmen versus you? I can get so long-winded about this. But this is nothing more than ego. Nothing more than ego. If this cop simply said, hey, listen, this is expired. This is done. You got to update this ASAP. Do me a favor. Get the fuck home right now. Park your vehicle. It shouldn't be on the street, all this. But then we know the chain events, right? The guy leaves the scene, gets in an accident because the car is suspended license, insurance claims, all that. We know the chain of events that ultimately puts cops in a position to go, well, I don't know about using discretion. This world is so fucked, it's ridiculous. The violence is insane because of egos. And that's where I'm going with this initially, and why cops need to be... You fucking knowingly violate somebody's rights. You knowingly detain them and seize their freedom. You need to be put to death. That's how far I'm going, because all the way back from 1776, that's what we fought for, against a tyrannical government. But here it is today, right? So this is setting the standard of what I'm talking about. Cops who knowingly, I don't care if this guy's the biggest piece of shit on the planet. There's still that thing called due process and the oath you swore to honor. But you clearly, it doesn't make any difference to you. Now, this is an integrity issue. This is a human being issue. This police officer is just as big as a criminal thug piece of shit as potentially this driver, right? I'm starting there. This is an older video I want to go to and I want to look at. You guys have seen this before many times. It's been featured on many channels. It popped up in my feed today. I want to play this really quickly. A traffic stop from J.D. Ellison is the police officer, and the guy is simply known as William. This has been played a ton of times. I think I even featured this a while ago. I want to talk about this and why we have such a double standard for cops, and why cops honestly need the death penalty if they keep going this way. I'm going this fucking extreme because you guys just do not seem to understand the power you have, and you're never fucking kept in check for it.
Okay. And I could take you to jail today for your unsigned registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's actually up to 6 months in jail. You think it's funny, sir?
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this is funny?
I'm allowed to laugh. I can laugh all I want.
Go ahead and step out here for me.
I didn't do anything.
Sir, I'm asking you to step out of the...
Am I being detained?
Yes, sir, you are. Step out of the vehicle.
Are you serious?
Place your hands behind your back for
Are
me.
you serious?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me.
Oh, man, you're serious, brother.
I'm not your brother.
Believe me, you're not.
Yeah, I'll never be your brother. I'll never be your brother.
Exactly. You'll never be my brother. Just be careful.
I don't want to be your brother.
No, just be careful with me, sir.
Don't jerk away from me.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me, sir.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me.
My wallet is in the car.
Isn't it funny how people with...
Now, I don't care about what she has to say on this. We're talking about the crime. This whole thing on this, when you go back to it again.
Okay.
Traffic stop ensued, whatever. And this turned out to be a flashing of the bright case, right? Some argue it's freedom of speech. It's an ego thing, right? What that means is driver's going down one way and flashes his brights to warn oncoming traffic there's a cop back here. To be honest, I don't see a fucking problem with it. I really don't, because the public could still argue, well, there's a speed trap there. That's unconstitutional. The whole fucking vehicle code is a joke. It's a financial rape system designed to road pirate people based off of the lie that it's designed to prevent accidents. Every single, how they pit this is, every single moving violation can potentially cause an accident. Failure to use signals, changing lanes. That could cause an accident. Clearly, speeding can cause accidents, right? Some equipment violations can cause accidents. Cracked windshield. Well, you can't see through the windshield. You're going to cause an accident. What blows me away is when we leverage that where there's no fucking other cars on the road other than yours. Well, you failure to change lanes or signals using lanes. Well, there's no other cars on the road, dude. Just yours. What the fuck's your problem? So that's what the citation was issued. Again, I've been out of the game so long. It was always issue and don't lecture, or lecture and don't issue. And to be honest, the whole lecture part, that should be removed as well too. It's not your fucking job to lecture. How you solve this problem is 100% issuance of citation on every single stop that's initiated. Get rid of officer discretion. You want to solve this problem? And I don't care if the fucking person had an expired vehicle sticker or if an obstructing license plate, whatever. Send everybody to fucking court, no matter what, and have the courts go, dude, we're overwhelmed with the biggest shit. Something's got to change, and then change the laws. Remove officer discretion. Every single person needs to be issued a citation if they're pulled over. The fact that we give cops discretion, that feeds into their power. Way too much. Way fucking too much. The lecturing, shut your fucking mouth. Do your job, shut your fucking mouth. You're not their father. End of story, right? So you have this driver, gets issued a citation based on the headlamps.
And I could take you to jail today for your unsigned registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's
go fuck your mother. I don't care what you're doing me any favors. Do your job, move on with your life. And if this guy said that, 100% within the free speech, period.
Actually up to 6 months in jail. You think it's funny, sir?
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this is funny?
I'm allowed to laugh. I can laugh all I want.
Okay. Go ahead and step out here for me.
100% he's allowed to laugh. 100%. Now, Pennsylvania versus Mims, the whole officer safety, remove him out of the car, right? Or is he arresting him? And this whole thing was settled, right? This is the point I want to make on something. Now, number one, there's other videos that have been critiqued by other people. Lawyers have done this breakdown. It's a game. It's a game. It's all how you articulate it. I need you to understand that. You can sit there and say, and keep this in mind for the days before dash and body cameras. This is the fucking danger that you guys as cops, you have the power to do this, and you need to be checked. You need to be in fear to be fucking put to death by the American people if you do not comply with the lawful authority you were given and you fucking swore you would do, right? So it's all how you articulate it. If the driver is no longer detained after you issue the citation or he signs it or whatever, now becomes the gray area. Well, did he really issue that citation yet? Because he can arrest, right? When I was in the academy, I do not remember the entire explanation of it, but technically issuing a traffic citation, they said, was an arrest. So does that mean you speed that I could put you in handcuffs? To be honest, yeah, there's a lot. As long as I can articulate it, I can issue you a traffic citation on the street. I can still take you out of the car, put you in cuffs, put you in the back of my car, issue the citation, take you out, take the cuffs off, issue the citation, and let you go. I can do that. How do you articulate it? Are you starting to see? Remember, it's creative writing. It's fucking bullshitting and lying. So if we go on this, did he issue the citation yet?
Registration card, but I just wrote you a citation for that. That's actually up to 6 months in jail. You think
he hasn't issued it yet, right? So now, if this is an arrestable offense, do you see where the gray area is becoming in? Well, now this cop's fucking little vagina has got a big BBC getting stuff right in it, and he doesn't fucking want it. So he's going to make sure this guy's, he knows he's a fucking man. And here we go. It's going to be...
You think it's funny, sir?
I'll take the ticket, sir.
I know, but do you think this is funny?
I'm allowed to laugh. I can laugh all I want.
Okay. Go ahead and step out here for me.
I didn't do anything.
Sir, I'm asking you to step out.
Am I being detained?
Now, number one, too, with you cops, if you really want to sit there and improve it, ask, tell, make. Ask, tell, make. If you have the righteous lawful authority to do your job, fucking do it. Fucking do it. Sir, step out of the car. Doesn't want to step out of the car. Sir, please step out of the car. Ask. He doesn't want to do it. Sir, step out of the car. Don't debate. Don't go back and forth. Well, whatever. If he doesn't, fucking pull him out of the car. The more, but remember, circumstances dictate tactics. The more righteous you are about your situation, the easier you are to defend, and the less the public will hate your fucking guts. That's the pissing match that you guys don't seem to understand yet. Do the job within the parameters of what you're lawfully allowed to. Do it righteously, and you'll be a lot easier to defend, and the public will go, shit, you guys are actually okay. Your shitbag egos need to be curbed.
Yes, sir, you are. Step out of the vehicle.
Are you serious?
Place your hands behind your back for me.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me.
Oh, man, you're serious, brother.
I'm not your brother.
Believe me, you're not.
Yeah, I'll never be your brother. I'll never be your brother.
Exactly. You'll never be my brother. Just be careful.
I don't want to be your brother.
Shut your mouth. You take him into custody. And remember, I've said this many times. Everything I'm critical over, I've done. I've mouthed off. I've fucking gone back and forth. I've exerted my male bravado and fucking ego and all. I've done all that. Don't fucking make the mistakes. Don't. You start to believe you're elite. You start to believe you're better than, and that starts to have you treat these shitty fucking people the way that you want them to treat. Listen, the public sucks. The public sucks, dude. Everybody lies all the time. The public gets away with what they can get away with. Everybody's selfish. They think for themselves, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. They're allowed to do that. It's not your job to play God, to play their fucking father or anything else. And that period.
No, just be careful with you.
Don't jerk away from me.
He's looking for an excuse. This is why I'm telling you flat out, your egos will get you in a fucking world of trouble. And it should, because how many of you have done this shit and never gotten caught? The guy's pulling away. Again, I remember I told you it's all how you articulate it. Can this cop bounce his head off the fucking hood of the squad car? Yeah, he can. If he can articulate, subject pulled away from me. Subject attempted to escape and flee from officer. Subject sat there. You can't see his hands right now. How do we know? Because you can't see it. Hey, I felt him go for my gun. You'll never be able to fucking see it. So what can he say to escalate that use of force? Okay, again, the purpose of my rant on this is to show that police get away with so fucking much, including your death, over flashing brights. And we don't hold cops accountable. So my thought is, and I'll escalate this in a second, if you can be held, if you could be put to death for flashing your brights, I think cops should be put to death for fucking violating your rights. I think it's as simple as that. I think it's a fair exchange. End of story, right? Period. Let's continue this.
Don't jerk away from me, sir.
Just be careful.
Don't jerk away from me.
My wallet is in the car.
Isn't it fun?
Okay, this is JD Ellison, and if you wind up looking at some of his contents, this is stuff I want to point out really quick. 2018 arrest of Jeffrey Jones. In August 5th, 2018, Ellison stopped Jones for broken taillights. Again, this was, I want to give credit where credit is due. Hang on a second. This was covered, where's my history? By a civil rights lawyer. Great channel. I like his content a lot, but the civil rights lawyer covered this. You can go and check out the arrest of Jeffrey Jones. If I looked at this one, the 2022 arrest of Brent Kelly. All right, and there was a shooting involved of this officer. No body cameras, no body camera footage I've been able to find just yet. If somebody can find it, send it an email to me. In one article, we talk about, report says, no, this is not the article I want. This is it. There's no body camera footage. So keep this in mind for a second. The public is going to see the suspect, make their opinion. They're going to hear the story that the police put out, make their opinion. They're going to see the officers, make their opinion. Everything is marketing. Everything. If people truly got the situation at hand, I'm starting to wonder the truth about all the incidents that occurred. Which side would the citizens, we the people, truly be on? Piece of shit civilians or the cops, right? You know, as a police officer, when you write your report, what's a report? It's a summary, a summation of the events that happened, right? It's not, if half of you went to a 5-minute traffic stop, which I don't think they're 5 minutes, but about 10 minutes. If you wrote it the way that like a Stephen King novel would be written, it would probably be about 100 pages because you'd have to have the details, right? What do you have? You have sentence, paragraph, summation of the events. When you go to court, only when asked proper questions by either the defense attorney or the prosecutors, then you give your expressed opinion if the defense doesn't object or whatnot, and you kind of expand more on the incident. Right? Does it make sense what I'm talking about? So You guys get away with so fucking much shit because unless a body camera records it, which some counties, I believe like in Florida, don't have body cameras, what are cops allowed to get away with? We don't get the entire story of everything. That's why I'm in favor of body cameras recording 24/7. Fucking the entire shift. If you're on 8 hours, 10 hours, 12-hour shifts, that body camera, audio, and video never shuts the fuck off. That's mine. According to a criminal complaint filed in Nicholas County Magistrates Court, the incident began when Nicholas County 911 dispatchers received a call regarding the alleged destruction of property on Holcomb Street in Birch River. So that's the first call. Now, remember, I'm leading up to the power that cops have. Citizens call 911, and it's always going to be the perception of the reality for the citizen, right? So you have maybe it's a boyfriend-girlfriend dispute, and she hates his guts. He's destroying my property. Send the police quick. Cops are going to go with a sense of urgency. We're human. You know, we're going to have our emotions mixed into play. We're going to base off of that. If you go to a different. Oh, I had this. Where was this report at? Oh, here we go. First off, I want to point this out. Look at this guy's face. Keep that in mind. Keep this in mind for a second. Brent Kelly, 28, is being held out bail. Here it is. The Nicholas County Sheriff's Department wrote that the deadly events unfolded when deputies responded to a report of a domestic disturbance call in the Birch River area. So which is it? Criminal damage to property or domestic disturbance, right? So again, I'm painting that the public doesn't get the full story on everything. And even the media dumbs shit down so that you're going to form a bias. A police officer was killed in this, right? So it turns out that the two subjects who they were investigating came out of the camper talking with the deputies, but at some point, follow me, and then keep in mind that traffic stop, right? Keep in mind the gray area of everything. Citizen sitting in the car, William, flashes his brights, and because the cop can leverage the law and articulate shit, the cop can get his ego hurt, pull William out of the car, handcuff him, and if it escalated up to William's death, it could have. So you have two cops are talking to two subjects outside of a camper. But at some point, the subjects became agitated, running back into the camper. Okay. The deputies pursued them into the camper, discharging a taser. I don't see body camera footage. I don't know what the circumstance was. I don't know how the cops can articulate. And remember, agitated is a adverb that the cops use to describe the behavior, but we don't see it. We don't fucking see it. Suspend your disbelief and follow my logic here for a second in painting this picture and how you have a fantastic responsibility as cops to ruin people's lives. So you're talking to somebody what? Because John Doe had an issue with his girlfriend. She calls 911, says, send the police. He's breaking my stuff. Maybe he's fucking not. Maybe he's the town shitbag. I don't know. Due process is still afforded everybody. Cops show up. I don't want to talk to you. I got nothing to say. I'm going back in the house. We'll write the report later on. Subject was highly agitated. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's their perception. Do they have the lawful authority to follow him in the trailer, his residence? Go watch Breaking Bad, check all that stuff. Is it a vehicle or is it a domicile? Do they need a warrant? Is it an exigent circumstance? Or is it, I'm just not talking to you, closing the door? What did they go in for? It escalated all the way back in to the subjects allegedly taking firearms, and sounds like, this is going to be shitty, being in their home, they don't want to go to jail today, so they use the firearms to defend themselves. One cop died. And as you can see as a result, this guy who's fucking 5'3" had the living shit tuned out of him. This guy hit every fucking rock on the way to the squad car with his face because he killed the cop. Allegedly, he or this other subject who's died in the scene killed the cop. This is my whole point for this. How much of this was the cop's ego in the scenario? that led to the death of the officer. And all of you guys need to understand, fuck you. I am not going to sit there and mourn the death of a police officer if this person had the issue or the history of thinking they were God on scene and they could do any fucking thing they want and they got away with it forever. Because we've already seen Ellison's already been recorded twice, at least, twice on arresting a guy for DUI who had physical ailments that attributed to him looking like he was impaired. And then we saw his power hungry hard on for pulling somebody out of a car for Brights. How many times has this happened that was not recorded or just nobody ever complained about it because they thought this is the way to go? So my argument is, do we have body camera footage? And if we do, and if it completely corroborates what they say, fucking awesome. It still does not dismiss the fact that this happens every single fucking day in America, where you have cops, I'm God, do as I fucking say, or we're going to sit there and escalate you to where you feel the point that you need to defend yourselves to prevent yourself from being unlawfully detained, and then you open fire on us. This is the problem. So many of you in the comment section all want to go, well, he just should have complied. At what point do we as Americans say, all right, you guys don't hold yourselves to the higher standards that we all want, and you all said you would, so we're going to hold you to the higher standards. Cops are not terrified to fuck up and work the job. They're not. Firing is the greatest thing that's going to happen to them, if at all. If at all. So my thought is this guy could be the biggest scumbag in the world. But how far do the cops know they could push him to then cause him to do action that would result in the death of one cop, and then all of a sudden, now this guy's going to be in prison for life because of what he did? It's a trick bag. It's a fucking trick bag that all cops have the luxury of nonstop using because they know they get away with it. On the traffic stop video, you know, Maddie Wack, who's on the show with us on Thursday or Wednesdays on Rants of Izzo from the Burn Pit podcast, Maddie Wack reposted that video and he said, I would empty my magazine into that cop. And I agree with him. This is where we're at. If you are a police officer and you unlawfully, knowingly abuse the Fourth Amendment and you rob someone of their freedom, that's the ultimate fucking power as a human being. As a citizen, you can't get into an argument with your sister, brother, girlfriend, wife, whatever. And if she goes to take call 911, you are criminally charged if you take that phone and say, listen, hang up. Can we just talk about this issue? You will fucking pay the price if you do that. If your girlfriend is arguing with you and you block the door, listen, go watch Rocky, the first Rocky from the 70s. And when Rocky Balboa wants to kiss Adrian and he says, don't, and she goes, I want to leave. And he goes and blocks the door. And he goes, and the whole cinematic scene is so awesome. And she wants, I'm going to kiss you. You're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. That is unlawful detainment. Unlawful detainment. I believe that's a felony, right? If you can articulate it well enough. But here we have cops. Because you fucking hurt my vagina, I can rob you of your freedom. This needs to be pushed to the point of threat of death for the police officer, since they have no fucking problem escalating that and allowing it to get all the way to where a subject could die on a traffic stop for fucking flashing your brights. I use this all the time. George Floyd. No, Chauvin didn't kill George Floyd, but a fake, alleged fake, because I don't think it was ever proven, an alleged fake $20 bill that a store clerk had a problem with, called 911. The initial cops walked right up to George, fucking pulled their pistols on him because they couldn't fucking stand him, and it led all the way up to him being tortured. The fentanyl in his system killed him, but they tortured him. This is the power our cops have. Now, I know so many of you are like, fuck around and find out. I can't wait till it happens to you. It is my deepest wish as a retired cop as a citizen that you run into the very types of police officers who you're defending because they are scumbag, evil, domestic terrorist, fucking cunts, human beings who have no purpose on this planet. And there's tons of them. Tons of them. And the courts let them get away with it. This is an extremely passionate subject of mine, clearly. And I think that everybody deserves defense. I don't know anything about this piece of shit who was in the trailer who opened fire on cops, and it's sad that a cop died, and apparently his friend died as well too. All for what? Because the law allows police to push people to the point of frustration to where their rights are trampled on, and you just arbitrarily expect people to fucking comply and sue later on when we know they don't have the money to sue attorneys. Attorneys don't push it as far. Fucking cities and villages have endless fucking pockets and insurance to cover their asses against this, and they all settle. Then you're going to dangle, well, we're going to give you a $20,000 payday to shut the fuck up and go away, instead of going, no, fuck you, man. This cop needs to be fucking criminally prosecuted. This is a problem. This is something I'm very passionate about. We have a ton of terrorist police officers who on the daily basis on our streets put their egos into check, which cause and effect leads to the violence against citizens and many times all the way up to their death, because these men and women have fucking emotional problems that they just can't control. This is a massive, massive, massive epidemic in law enforcement. So if you're a cop, you have to curb your fucking ego. You have to do everything black and white. Let the fucking shitbag win sometimes. If they're going to have a mouth on you, tell you go fuck your mother, give me my ticket, go away. Fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They could do that. It's the fucking last ditch effort they have to support their ego. On this, this just pisses me off. We have to change this behavior because cops have been getting away with this for God knows how, for decades. For decades. And I truly think if a police officer, this is 100% serious. I would have no problem. Trump wants to sit there and remove or give cops immunity on a federal level. I want some politician to come up and say, no, if you're a police officer who knowingly violates somebody's civil rights and uses your authority to do so, fucking death penalty. Criminal prosecution and fucking death penalty. The people need to be honored and served. The Constitution needs to be honored, and cops need to be fucking terrified to do their job knowingly fucking and screwing it up criminally. That's it. See you guys next video.